Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Climate activist Sonam Wangchuk has begun losing muscle mass at his indefinite hunger strike, which has entered its 17th day today, prompting the Cockroach Janta Party founder Abhijit Dipke to call for urgent government intervention amid growing concerns over the activist's health. Now, Dipke said that Wangchuk's condition has deteriorated for more than 2 weeks without food and water, and the doctors are closely monitoring him. According to him, the 59-year-old has lost about 8.25 kgs of weight since beginning the fast. He also added that Wangchuk's blood sugar levels have repeatedly fallen below 70, while he continues to experience persistent dizziness, severe muscle loss, and increasing physical weakness. Dipke also said that Wangchuk's ribcage has become visibly prominent, underscoring the decline in his health. Various activists and some politicians also have come forward. They've extended a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk. Arundhati Roy, actor Nasiruddin Shah, Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra, Shiv Sena leader Uddhav Thackeray, and several others have appealed to him to end the fast, saying his life and continued advocacy were too important to be put at risk. Now, Cockroach Janta Party, in fact, is planning a Chalo Sansad March, which they will be marching on 20th July from Jantar Mantar to the parliament, and their representatives have been saying that if the government has not come to us for a dialogue, we will walk up to the government, we will walk up to the parliament. Now, this is the latest tweet by Saurav Das, which is just, I think, 1 or 2 hours back or 3 hours back. He says on 9th and 10th July, Abhijit Dipke and I, on behalf of Cockroach Janta Party, wrote to several political leaders across party lines and ideological divides, inviting them to Jantar Mantar to stand in solidarity with the youth of this country and Sonamji, who have now been peacefully sitting in protest for the past 25 days. We also requested a meeting with our delegation. The complete list of leaders is attached, including the leader of the House in Rajya Sabha, JP Nadda, and the leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi. Even before these letters and in the days since several political leaders from the list and their party members have extended their support to our youth movement, many have visited Jantar Mantar, while others have invited our delegation for discussions. We sincerely thank each one of them for standing with India's youth. We continue to await responses from several others. So basically, this is a list of leaders. If you have that list ready with you, Shravan, if you're there backstage, and this is the leaders to whom Abhijit Dipke has written. Top is Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, Kanimori, Tiruchi Shiva, Akhilesh Yadav, Ram Gopal Yadav, Devaralu, Sanjay Kumar Jha, Sanjay Rao, Tejasvi Yadav, Misha Bharti, Midhun Reddy, Chandrasekhar Azad, JP Nadda, Nitin Naveen, Chandrababu Naidu, Vijay, Asaduddin Owaisi, Omar Abdullah, and Ruhullah Mehendi also. So these are the list of leaders from various parties. But in fact, a lot of people have been saying that why is Rahul Gandhi not supporting? In fact, there have been a lot of critical tweets coming in from various people from the CJP that saying that Rahul Gandhi, why is he not supporting? So now the big question is that why is government hell-bent on ignoring Sonam Wangchuk, especially now that it knows that his condition is deteriorating? And are those handles justified who say that Rahul Gandhi has not extended a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk? So we'll try and discuss all of this and what makes the government so confident that they can easily overlook this sentiment or the popular opinion which is in support of Sonam Wangchuk. Remember, lakhs and lakhs of students who've appeared for NEET, lakhs and lakhs of students who've appeared for the CBSE exams, what they have gone through, and not to mention all those students who died by suicide. Sonam Wangchuk is a representative of that. And in fact, even Congress is holding Chhatron Ki Goonj events from one city to the other. The latest being lined up is Dehradun, where Rahul Gandhi will be addressing lakhs of students there. So the big question we are asking is that what makes the government so confident that they can overlook this sentiment, whether it is Sonam Wangchuk or whether it is events like Chhatron Ki Goonj. Joining me this evening is TK Rajalakshmi, senior journalist. Thank you so much, Rajalakshmi, for joining. Anchal Gupta, who's a YouTuber who's been visiting Sonam Wangchuk's site very often and is also a researcher at Yuva Halla Bol. Thank you so much, Anchal, for joining. And we have Pushpraj Deshpande, author and policy expert. Thank you so much, Pushpraj, for joining. And let me begin with Anchal Gupta. Anchal, why do you think that the government is overlooking the sentiment? And what makes them so confident that nothing is going to happen even if we overlook Sonam Wangchuk?
Everyone.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you Rishi, for having me. We should remember that in 2013, a somewhat similar case occurred, although for a different issue that may not have resonated with the whole country, but it should have. When a true Ganga Sevak, which is Professor G.D. Agarwal, who was a retired professor and head of Department of Civil Engineering and Environmental Engineering at IIT Kanpur, and he did a fast for 111 days and eventually passed away at his 111th day at AIIMS Rishikesh. So he was fasting for protecting the Ganga because he was highlighting the issues and clearly that, Namami Gange and all those projects that were going on have categorically failed. Yet, the government never even initiated any dialogue whatsoever with him or his team or his supporters or whoever, and he was forcibly taken away against his wishes at the very last days to aim, but he was steadfast in his belief. So, as far as I think, this is the nature and this is the fundamental character of this government. They see everything from the perspective of that how is it going to impact their next electoral victories and their continuing dominance of ruling the India, not serving Indians, but ruling Indians through government, through being in government continuously. And since they see that perhaps the kind of support that was there at one point of time in 2011 during the Anna Hazare movement and the India Against Corruption movement, as of now, that level of support on the ground does not seem to be there, although the numbers are
But
still
you were talking
significant.
about the Anna Hazare movement and the then government which believed in having a dialogue. We still remember the union ministers going up and talking, find a way, to get over the deadlock. That element is completely missing in this government, and this thing happens only when the government is very confident that okay, we can overlook this sentiment, nothing is going to happen. I want to know the reason from you, and then I'll go to Pushpraj. That what is the reason for this government's confidence? Any government could shudder to see this kind of an outcry on the streets. Whether it is the students, whether it is what Sonam Wangchuk is fasting. Remember those days when UPA government believed in the dialogue, but this government is not even like coming near Jantar Mantar anywhere.
That's simply because I believe, and again, this is my opinion, I do not have any facts to back it, but UPA government, by its nature and character and all its actions over 10 years, showed that it has a strong respect for democracy and our constitutional republic, whereas this government is actually hell-bent on using all the tools and everything within a constitutional republic to actually then decimate that republic. That's what this government is trying to do. I mean, we can all see it now. I mean, many of us who even speak on channels like these actually carry an inherent risk in, laying the facts bare. But I mean, if you look at the records of the last 12 years, it is now without doubt that every constitutional institution, every other constitutional body, every legal body, every statutory body, everything is being used eventually to completely dismantle all aspects, all pillars of the republic, and eventually convert it into God knows what kind of a system. And again, we all know that India is too large a country, too diverse a country, that any other thing that they are trying to put in is not going to be stable enough for long. There's no doubt about that. That's how systems work. So such complex systems. So it is in the very inherent nature of the leadership of this government that, they don't believe really in constitutional participative democracy, in consensus building and dialogue and everything. It's just a strongman image that they have to forever maintain because that's what their core constituency has been fed on over the last 13, 14 years, creating a forever strongman image of Mr. Modi, that he just rules by an iron hand. And he just decimates all opponents and everything that he or his party portrays as anti-national or against whatever their vision of India is. So it has that they are not democratic in their character.
Right. One part of the whole story is this: what we just discussed, that the government is choosing to ignore the sentiment. But what about the other political parties? And I'll come to Pushpraj now. There is constant call that, why Rahul Gandhi is not extending support to Sonam Wangchuk. Where are the other political parties when it comes to Akhilesh Yadav, or for that matter, DMK, or for that matter, Vijay? Now look at the handful of people. You can count on your tips the number of people who've extended support to Sonam Wangchuk. Would things have been better had Congress also given an open support to Sonam Wangchuk and the Cockroach Janata Party? Pushpraj? Yeah, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Nilu, can you hear me, Niluji?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. All right. A very good evening to you, our panelists and our viewers. See, firstly, like Mahatma Gandhi said, India resides in its districts. We have 802 districts across India, not just Delhi. Just to give you an example, there are 22.5 lakh candidates for NEET. 9.4 lakh, or about 42% of these are from 4 states: Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Bihar. So ideally, any mass movement or campaign that seeks to mobilize students affected by NEET exam paper leaks or amplify their voices should be doing these in 802 districts and rural districts across India, but certainly these 4 states. A centralized campaign focused in on Delhi is frankly elitist. Secondly, let's be objective and honest about the efficacy of Delhi-based protests. And all of the colleagues who have joined here would also bear me out on this. Many of these protests have happened in Jantar Mantar in the last 13 years. We've seen hundreds of these. Now, they happen in Jantar Mantar because the BJP government deigns to grant only a sanitized and a small space for these protests. But apart from the farmers' protests,
or even interrupt you, Pushpraj, just allow me to interrupt you. You were talking about the centralized form of the protest, but wasn't the protest similar when what we saw in 2011 with the Anna Hazare movement, that the venue was Ramlila Maidan?
I agree. I agree.
Yes.
Agree. I am coming to that. Just give me 2 minutes, Niluji. You'll see what I'm coming to. Now, the fact of the matter is that firstly, the BJP government deigns to grant only a sanitized and small space for protests. But apart from the farmers' protests, in the last 12 years, let's be objective, have any of these protests been able to tangibly move this particular government? The UPA government could be named and shamed. It was willing to say that I've gone wrong and I will course correct. Has anyone, apart from the farmers' protests and the Shaheen Bagh protests, been able to name and shame this government? See, I personally recognize, I'm a student of history, I personally recognize the power of satyagraha and disobedience. I have a lot of faith in this. But how do you move a government into course correcting when they don't feel they're accountable to us, and redressing any policy or political failures is anathema to them? So even if such protests, and I'm saying this very, very advisedly, even if such protests are cathartic to us progressives, are we really pushing the needle forward? No. Thirdly, when it comes to Rahul Gandhi, because he's leader of opposition, there are naturally greater expectations from him. He's always taken an admirable ideological and moral position in the national interest. So people legitimately want him, as also other progressive leaders from the India bloc, to join their protests. Not just CJP, not just the Cockroach Janata Party protests, but many other protests. But he's LOP. There are presumably multiple calls on his time. There are multiple processes which want Rahul Gandhi to attend their protests, and in doing so amplify them beyond their threat. Now, my sense is that apart from NEET, there's also the TET and the MPSC protests that I know of, and all of these protests will be run by civil society and other groups. Rahul Gandhi will have to, he will have to, or he will want to attend all of them, unless CJP is now claiming to represent all NEET candidates, all TET candidates, all MPSC candidates. Rahul Gandhi is going to have to go to each of these protests. And I'm sorry, but this is going to take time. That's secondly. Mind you, no one is saying anything about Sonam Wangchuk. Frankly, when an eminent activist and educationalist like Wangchuk goes on a hunger strike against any leak or any issue, it demands attention. But the fact that his health is deteriorating is worrying for all of us. But isn't the onus on Prime Minister Modi to pay heed and intervene? What is he doing? He is roaming around the world saying 1 + 1 = 11 and 2 + 6 is 8 and whatnot stuff, and collecting symbolic awards for himself. Is Rahul Gandhi the PM already? Last I checked, he's the leader of opposition. Now see, Rahul Gandhi has not criticized either the CJP protests or Sonam Wangchuk, or taken a stand contrarian to what all of us on this panel and progressives in this country want. That is to fix the educational system of this country. Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party, I know for a fact, I just checked the facts online, are doing simultaneous protests in 28 cities across India. I don't think it's enough. I think they need to scale it up, but that's going on. They're protesting against paper leaks and exam leaks. I myself attended a Congress-led march in Kolhapur, where the Youth Congress president, or the National Youth Congress president, Uddhav Bhanu, came down. Every party and civil society activists in Kolhapur attended this. It did not become a Congress-led march. It was a people's movement. Now there are 28 such cities, 28 such marches happening. People should join these. Why should everyone pack up and come to Delhi? That is not the right way of doing it. It's a decentralized federal nation. Now, in these cities, I want to also say something about the Congress party. In these cities, these youth Congress and NSUI workers have been facing water cannons, lathi charges, and are being jailed. I don't see the media covering them. And I also don't think it's fair to pit them or juxtapose them versus another protest. Each of them have their space. Each of them are legitimate. Each of them are doing the right thing in the national interest and the people's interest. Now, Rahul Gandhi is also a political leader. Let's not forget that. He is the leader of the Congress party. He's obviously going to prioritize this. And if he thinks that the Congress party, which is, I think, apart from the BJP, the only other party which has presence in 802 districts of this nation, if he feels that that is the way to go and he needs to prioritize that, that's his business. He's done so in Kota. I think you mentioned that he's going to do it in Dehradun. That's perfectly legitimate. Should encourage that, as also CJP. I'm not saying let's just bind up everything. Each people have to have space. There is no one solution fits all. And finally, one last thing about the media. This is something that is very important point. Our previous panelist spoke about the Ganga Jal Satyagraha. Similarly, right now there is an Adivasi woman who's doing a Jal Satyagraha right now. There is no media coverage. Why is it that this one protest is getting this disproportionate airtime in the media and others are not? Why is NSUI Youth Congress not getting any this thing? Why is the TET scam not getting any TET protest not getting any this thing? I mean, we have to ask about these serious questions. Clearly, there is something happening as to why this particular protest is getting amplified. I don't know the answer. I'm not part of the CJP core movement. Neither am I in the deep state of the BJP government to know whether this is being funded by someone. All these kind of.
You feel that there is something suspicious?
No, there are a lot of Niluji, there are a lot of conspiracy theories. I don't know what is the truth. My limited point is, my question is, why is the media covering one, not the others? That's one question. And the second thing is, each of these protests, each of these movements are in their own way doing something in the interest of the students. They have a legitimate space to exist and thrive collectively. We don't need to juxtapose and pit one against the other. That is not how a federal union with 802 districts should be functioning. Why are we so exclusively obsessed about Delhi?
Right. Okay, so there's a point there that, why should everybody converge at Delhi's Jantar Mantar? And why is media giving a selective coverage only to Cockroach Janata Party? And why are other movements not getting that kind of a coverage? There is a merit in what Pushpraj is saying. But Rajalakshmi, what would you say? In which direction is this Cockroach Janata Party movement going? Now they've called for a Chalo Sansad March on 20th of July, where they'll be marching from Jantar Mantar to the Parliament, and I'm seeing on social media there's a lot of stuff about this, and people have to register, and they are going online. There's a wide outreach program for this 20th July program. I mean, you talk to anyone, and especially the youngsters, they would say, and they're calling up and asking. I got 3 calls today that, ma'am, are you joining 20th July protest? So I didn't know at that point of time to say what, but I thought, let me see how it pans out. So in what direction is this Cockroach Janata Party movement really heading to? And you think that Sonam Wangchuk's falling health, can it really force the government to listen to what Sonam Wangchuk has to say? Because what he said, Sonam Wangchuk said that I'm not worried about what is happening to my health, but I'm worried about why the government doesn't want to enter into a dialogue, why they don't want to listen to us. That's what he said. Yes, Rajalakshmi.
See, I'm not so sure about the manner in which the government will sort of respond to his fast. I mean, it's quite possible, perhaps at some stage, if they feel that his health is sort of deteriorating, a lot. It's already, in fact, deteriorated, and there is, as you also sort of mentioned, several sections of people, including actors, etc., have been appealing to him to call off his hunger, his hunger strike, saying that his life is too sort of precious to be lost like this, etc. Now, as far as I think the government is concerned, it might. I do not know, Nilu. It might just set up, a committee of sorts, and maybe you can go and sort of meet him, and at the hunger strike site, and maybe sort
Right.
of talk him out of it,
I'll just
etc.
interrupt
Can
you
happen.
here. I'll just interrupt you here, Rajalakshmi. On the screen, you can see Omi Vaidya, one of the actors from the Three Idiots movie. He has extended support. In fact, I would like to play that video today. What he said. It's a truncated video. Let's play that out. Yes.
I don't want Funsuk Wangdu to die. Hello, idiots. Pehchana. This is Omi Vaidya, Chatur from Three Idiots, and Sadiq from The Office, and I have an important message for you. Yes. And I don't really do this very often, so please listen up. Did you know that Funsuk Wangdu from Three Idiots, the character that Amir Khan plays, is actually based on a real-life Ladakhi engineer, innovator, educator, reformer named Sonam Wangchuk? I've met this guy. He's a pretty interesting character. He has done some incredible stuff in his life, and he seems pretty humble, which is kind of fantastic. I suggest you look him up and see what he's up to, because right now he is on a very long hunger strike. It's over many, many weeks, and his blood sugar has gone down very much. I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't know if the media is reporting this, but this is a pretty important thing. Now, why is he on the hunger strike? Well, he has some issues with the education system in India. He has some issues with independence for Ladakh and environmentalism. And whether you agree with him or not, I don't really want this guy to die.
Right. All right. So that is the kind of support which Sonam Wangchuk is getting, and this video is going quite viral. Yes, Rajalakshmi.
Yeah, so Zinat Aman, Abhay Deol, okay, there are in fact like a bevy of actors who have asked him to call off his hunger strike. That's I think fair enough, good enough. I mean, he's a well-known figure. He's an environmentalist, but as as we all know, that there have been several in past occasions where not so well people also sit on hunger strike, and they are not really, in fact, barely noticed for that matter. I would in fact agree with what Pushpraj says, that yes, this is important, okay, as an issue. It's important, it's been flagged, but it can't be just sort of confined to the capital. It has to it has to be a decentralized kind of a struggle, and it's already happening, whether it's NSUI, whether it's SFI, whether it's other student organizations. They all are in fact raising these issues in various states, which are not really reported again by the media. Even for that matter, the Jantar Mantar protests are not really being captured by the mainstream media. It's obviously YouTubers and other forms of media who are actually in fact picking it up. As far as the government's, I think, response is concerned, frankly, I think they seen
Oh, I think,
succumbing to
Rajalakshmi's-
the demand, in some
you
form,
got disconnected for a few seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
I did. No, so I'm saying that if the government acquiesces to those demands, in any form, if they either ask the minister to go, or they sort of reshuffle the cabinet and ask him to take another mantralaya, etc. It would be seen as a sign of weakness, and it's also a fact that this movement isn't as strong as a farmers movement is, because the farmers movement, in terms of sheer numbers.
No, but
Okay.
I also saw a video. I also saw a video today where the farmer leader Charuni has come and he has extended support. In fact, 20th July is the Chalo Sansad March, and 21st the farmers are also planning to protest against the government. So and they came to Jantar Mantar. They've extended a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk and the Cockroach Janta Party. The video is quite viral
They
today.
did.
So what?
It's a fact that all, in fact, most political parties have extended their support, and they've also gone there, and they've shown their face there. They've sat with them. CPIM leaders went, CPI leaders went. Then of course the UBT also. I think Shiv Sena UBT also said, sort of
Yes.
extended support in that sense, urging him to sort of call off his strike, etc. So there are several political parties in their own ways have been very supportive of this. But I'm saying for it to take the form in which you can get the get the entire, in fact, the education policy, in fact, reversed. Okay, because I don't think we're just speaking about the sacking of the minister. It has to go beyond that. It can't just be confined to just that demand. Because
Yes.
if the demand is serious, then it has to address the entire, in fact, malaise in the education system, which also includes all the proliferation of coaching centers, the proliferation of the private sector, in education today. Okay, which is again sort of backed by big money, which is backed by a lot of, in fact, political heft, etc. So I'm saying that it can't just stop there. It can't just stop at just asking for his resignation. It has to go beyond that. I mean, I'm saying
Right.
even if he resigns tomorrow, then what next? So, but I do not think that the CJP has the organizational dhacha or the structure to carry forward. I think this kind of a struggle all over the country. Even for that matter, on the 20th, I feel that the main mobilization is going to be from the student organizations, from the left student organizations, who have a certain mass base in
Yes.
Delhi and around, isn't it? So I think beyond that, it's not going to be really sort of but I think as an issue, I think it's very important that it was raised, because from that can emerge, I think far more serious issues, and it can be used, to consolidate other important issues that face the youth, that
Right.
face students,
But
that
one
face
more
everybody.
question which I want to ask you, and then I'll take a quick comment,
Yeah.
the concluding comments from Pushpraj and Anchal. The kind of apathy we see from the government side, they're totally indifferent. And not only to this movement, but other movements as well. The movements are not able to flourish the way they should have, or what we have seen in the past. Uh, and it does come from a certain hubris which the government has. Now, what makes the government so confident, according to you? I want that one quick reason, if you could think of. Then I'll come to Pushpraj and Anchal.
I
Very
think I
briefly.
think it's the I think it's the sheer fact that they feel that this movement has not gone beyond Delhi. Essentially that it's
Right.
confined to a certain in Delhi, and
Okay.
it's confined to a certain area in Delhi. So that also
Okay.
gives them, the confidence that it's not going to
Okay. So you
sustain.
feel that that is one reason why they feel that it's more confined to Delhi. Pushpraj, why do you think that the government is just not nervous? Looking at the crowd or the way it's coming up online, why do you think the government doesn't look scared?
Anyone who studied history in India, whether it's CBSE, ICSE, IB, whatever, even the state boards, would have studied something called the safety wall theory. You remember what the safety wall theory, right? Like the
Yeah.
Congress party was supposedly set up because the colonial government wanted to let off steam and all that stuff. Okay. Now the point is that the point of a safety wall theory is to control any dissent in a manner in which it is manageable for sort of a hegemonic regime. In this case, the BJP government. I'm not saying that this protest is a safety wall. I'm not saying that. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that the only thing that is going to worry them is when this protest is going to gather momentum, when it becomes bigger than the farmers' protest. And from as all of us who are progressives need to be concerned about putting pressure on this government to course correct. You cannot, and you have no one has been able to name and shame this government in the last 12 years.
All right.
This government is as thick-skinned as a rhino, right? You cannot shame it. So the point is the only way for you to get them to course correct is to put them on the back foot, right? With the
Right.
farmers protest did, which is what Shaheen Bagh did. Even with the Shaheen Bagh, they have now tried to implement the CA NRC through this SIR. SIR is nothing more than a camouflage CA NRC, right? So they are not going to stop there. So as Rajalakshmi ji was saying, you need to go beyond the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan, which I don't think is going to happen. You need to ask for serious structural changes. The fact that I actually don't like putting this entire thing that you remove this one guy and suddenly everything is going to be be hunky-dory. I'm sorry, it's not going to work like that. Do you realize that higher education funding has been cut off and the UGC has been completely circumscribed? How are you going to fix that? That is having a direct impact on fees. It has
Right.
gone up 400% in some universities. 800%. These are struck. Then on the top of that, they're stuffing appointments with RSS people. People who have studied history are teaching physics. People who have studied Sanskrit are teaching sociology. I mean, this kind of madness is going to destroy the Indian education system. These are issues that need the structural solutions. And I'm sorry, yes, satyagrahas is important, but you need to focus, and Parliament also. You can't have a protest that is sanitized and a safety wall and then ignore what is happening in Parliament. You need to focus on Parliament. You need to decentralize this movement to ensure that 802 districts, the BJP is damn scared about what is happening. Every state government that is controlled by the BJP should be worried about what is happening. This requires a kind of organization that, I'm sorry, no other party or civil society except the Congress can do. The Congress has to take the lead. Let them, like the Bharat Jodo Yatra, make it into a people's movement. Let them not put Congress banners. Let Chhatro ki Goonj. If I'm not mistaken, this Chhatro ki Goonj, I don't remember seeing Congress banners. I saw Rahul Gandhi, I saw students, but I didn't see Congress banners. This is the way you need to take it. I would think that you need to deepen it to the talukas and the blocks. Every single person who is affected and afflicted by the education system needs to come out.
Okay. So, Anchal, very briefly, what would you say towards the end now? What are we going to see? Post 20th, is this movement going to gather further momentum, or you think that it's going to die down? Maybe the possibility could be that Sonam Wangchuk is taken away to the hospital. He's force-fed. A lot of possibilities are there. Unmute yourself. Anchal, you'll have to unmute yourself, but very brief response.
Yes, sorry. Yes, so as you already mentioned, and I was saying the same thing while I was on mute, which was like it depends on how Mr. Wangchuk's health evolves. Because if his health deteriorates, I don't think he'll be able to last till the 20th on the kind of bed he is right now on the stage. Because I've visited that place many times and I can see that he would need hospitalization pretty soon the way things are going. And as we know, as is the character and the nature of this government, they are not going to initiate any dialogue and they are not going to, acquiesce to any of these, demands or the major demand that they have. And of course, I agree with what the other senior panelists have said, which is like we need far greater structural, movement across the nation. And I really hope that the principal opposition party, along with the other parties in the India Alliance, or through all other civil society groups, student groups, youth groups, etc., everybody comes together to actually launch the kind of movement which I believe that this country sorely and badly needs now.
Right. All right. So we'll have to see how this movement unfolds, who all come in support of Sonam Wangchuk, what happens to Sonam Wangchuk, will he be forced to break his fast? All these are things which need to be watched out very closely. Thank you so much, Rajalakshmi, Pushpraj, Anchal. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.